Now, here's your Farm and Ranch Report from the Western Ag Network.
Welcome back for today's Farm and Ranch News. Well, fertilizer prices have dropped a tad bit, and that will be the first time we've seen a lower fertilizer price in 19 months, going all the way back to November 2020. And we'll have more on the fertilizer price dip in the second half of our report. But first, we are going to look at new data out from the U.S. Census Bureau. It released its first quarter 2022 trade information. Veronica Nye with the American Farm Bureau Federation, she's a senior economist for the group, says U.S. ag exports are up nearly 13% compared to a year ago.
But if you're like me, you're probably wondering how much inflation is contributing to that increase. So after adjusting for inflation, 22 year-to-date exports are up 4% by value compared to the same period last year. However, when we look at export volumes, the story isn't quite as rosy. Export volumes year-to-date are actually down 4% compared to the same period last year.
As an economist, Nye says that we need to closely watch the global supply of corn and wheat as well.
Despite the estimation that Ukraine's 22-23 wheat export volumes will be down nearly 50% because of war, and U.S. wheat exports are projected to be down 4% due to drought, USDA is actually projecting that global wheat exports will be up a little bit this year. That's mainly based on increased volumes out of Russia. So far, 2022 wheat exports out of the U.S. are weaker than a year ago. U.S. export volumes of corn are estimated down in the current marketing year, mainly related to higher prices.
Beyond corn and wheat, Nye says other U.S. products are enjoying increased exports.
Soybean oil is up over 50%. That's likely a result of folks choosing soybean oil as a substitute for sunflower seed oil, which is a major export crop out of Ukraine and Russia. Cotton is also up over 50% by value. Beef and beef products are up also over 38% compared to the same point last year.
And while higher exports should lead to higher prices for commodities and livestock, the price of fuel and fertilizer is taken away from any bullish enthusiasm farmers and ranchers may be having. But speaking of fertilizer, we'll have a look at the first price drop in fertilizer prices in 19 months after these words.
Beef farmers and ranchers around the country are implementing land-conserving, wildlife-protecting, award-winning environmental efforts. Learn more about how beef farmers and ranchers are rethinking the ranch.
As we return back today, we see a majority of retail fertilizer prices are lower compared to last month. This will be the first time since the third week of November 2020 that this has occurred. That's 19 consecutive months of higher fertilizer prices. To compare that, anhydrous was $422 a ton in November 2020. This week it was $1,529. Urea $358 in 2020, now $979. These fertilizers have more than doubled in the last year and a half. You can see more of those fertilizer prices there on your screen. Hopefully that trend will continue to fall lower. That's today's Farm and Ranch News.